Okay, everybody. So the fish are here. Um, I'm on my lunch. This is gonna be a quick video. These are supposedly blue coral guppies. They looked way different than in the pictures, but that's fine. I'm still happy. Ooh, excuse me, with the colors. So this is actually gonna be a quicker video. I'm actually on my lunch at work. I met up with the guy, and he met me at my work. You so just real quick. So what happened was he brought the fish in a Ziploc bag, and what I can only assume is, well, it might be a fish bag, but it's kind of, I don't know. My bags feel a little bit different. This might be some sort of bread bag or something, but it worked. And they're alive. They survived about 2 hours in my work truck. But anyways, so what we're gonna do, this is a specimen container. And those of you that are not familiar with guppies, that are new to breeding guppies, just the quick differences in the males from the females. The males, you can see this one with the blacker tail, more color. His little fin at the bottom is like pointed, versus the female's bottom fin is more like a square almost. It's blocked off. Sorry, that one's pooping. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get these to acclimate. Yeah, and the cool thing is these are all pregnant. How do I know they're pregnant? They are round and blocky and ready to give birth. So it might not be within the next few days, but maybe by the end of the week. Hopefully by January 4th, we'll have a bunch of fry swimming around and they won't eat it. And I'll show you what I'm gonna add to the tank as far as a place for the fry to hide, because fish will eat anything that fits in their mouth. So some people separate their fry. I don't. I let nature take its course. And so here we go. We are gonna put the specimen container in the tank, and we're gonna let them, I think I let out too much water. So what I did is I just put the specimen tank in there, or yeah, specimen container in there, close the lid to the tank. We're gonna let them marinate. Like I said, I am on my lunch. Luckily I do get to work from home, but I have been on the road all morning. And for right now, just to, let them build up their strength and everything, I'm gonna add a little bit of bloodworms, and we are gonna just, this is another way you could tell if the fish are in like decent shape, if they eat right away. So one's going up there after the food already. Me personally, I believe in lots of air. As you could tell, I'm an air junkie. So for right now, I want to let them float for about 10 minutes. And then we're gonna plop them in. What you could do is you could do drip acclimation, but I don't have the right airline for it right now, so I just kept getting a mouthful of tank water. But yeah, that's basically it for now. But what I'm going to get into is, when you're breeding fish, right? I don't care if it's somebody locally, if it's a friend. I don't care if you dislike the people. I always recommend having fish bags. Because at the end of the day, if you want people to keep buying your fish, why not at least have them presentable? So I bought my fish bags off Amazon. I don't know what meal they are, but you know, I've always double bagged. You know, it's not gonna hurt you to put a little bit of care into it, because ultimately, if you bag them crappy and something happens while they're on their way out or they're in the person's car, you know, the last thing you want is to hear somebody say, hey, your fish, blah, 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 bag came undone and now I got water and fish all over my car. Which is what I was stressed about. But, oh well, they're safe, they're eating, they're moving. But yeah, so, yeah, just if you're gonna breed fish to sell, don't put them in a cup. Don't put them in a Ziploc bag. You know, I get it. Some people might be tight on money. Sell them locally first and order some fish bags. It's not going to hurt. You know, or go to Petco and, you know, ask them if you could have 2 or 3 fish bags for a couple cents or something. It's not going to hurt you. Petco, PetSmart, fish store, whatever. So, as you can see, some of their gills are red. You know, that could happen under stress or ammonia, for one. That's why we're only going to let them float for a few minutes. You know, they could end up getting ammonia burn. You could usually tell, you know, when their gills are red and they're, you know, seem to be breathing pretty heavy and constantly going to the top and trying to breathe. But for right now, these seem okay. You know, some of the females, their gills look kind of red, but you know, like, again, that could be the stress, the movement of the specimen container. They're moving around eating. I don't have no air in the tank, minimal water. But so we got about 2 more minutes left, and we'll drop them in the tank, and hopefully they're alive by the end of the day, which I'm sure they will be. Like I said, I'm gonna do a little bit of a water change later today. I might actually even get that water ready in the next few minutes. So I have my heater set at 75. Again, just an air stone and a aquarium co-op sponge filter with a air stone in it. I may change that line because there's got some like film building up on the airline, and I don't like that. But yeah, so you know, so far everything's going good. You know, the guppies aren't exactly what I saw in the dude's posting, which will happen. But you know, I expected that. I bought all sorts of guppies from all over the place, and you know, things change. So yeah, we'll see what we can get done here, and then once we introduce them to the tank, we'll see how they act. We'll watch them for a little bit. I'm still gonna add a little bit of prime. That way, if there's any ammonia, it neutralizes it. It does not get rid of it. It just makes it non-toxic to them. And me personally, I have test kits. I do not test. I feel the more you chase numbers when it comes to your fish, the worse the outcome can become for them. Because if you're trying to raise your pH or lower your pH, or you know, this number's high, that number's high, Jesus this, Moses that, Abraham hit me with the wiffle ball bat. You know, you're just gonna stress those fish out, and it's not gonna be a good experience for you. So, you know, it'd probably be best to simplify it as much as possible. You know, there's nothing wrong with simplification. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You know, I am going to gravel vac this tank a little bit, get some of that crud out of there. But, you know, it's never going to be perfect. It's a breeding for profit tank. And, you know, the next video I'll make will probably be in a couple days, and we will go from there. But yeah, so let's... Oh, man, sorry. I'm sitting on the ground. I don't have a chair that sits low enough for this tank. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, I'm just going to add a little bit of the tank water to the specimen container. You know, get them all shook up, because I know my water's probably a little bit cold still. I just put the heater in this morning. But, yep, they seem fine. We'll let it sit for a couple more minutes, and then we're gonna dump them in there. So I smell smoke. I have the back door open for my dogs right now. So I did make another video that was a little bit better than this one, but my work called and asked me some questions, and I had to make a couple phone calls, and I don't quite know how to edit videos yet, but one day I will. And you know, I did order a tripod, that way everything doesn't look so weird. And then that way I could also show you guys how to gravel vac sand without sucking up all the sand. Because I know when I first got sand, way back when, I had a hell of a time, and I watched so many videos. But now I feel like I'm pretty surgical when it comes to, you know, using a gravel vac on sand. I can get it fairly clean, not perfectly clean, but, you know, the tank can be disgusting, and within 10-15 minutes it looks almost perfect. Never will be perfect, but it looks pretty good. And when you're putting in sand, what I did was I put a plate down there at the bottom. You can kind of see the outline a little bit. That way the water could hit without moving all the sand around. But, you know, you're still going to get wave disruption and stuff like that. But who cares? It's a breeding for profit tank. And then I'll probably make a clipping of some of that pothos and put it in a cup and let it grow roots. That way we can shove it in here, because plants will suck up ammonia and nitrates to an extent. So a lot of people have filterless tanks, and they use a lot of floating plants. You know, the roots thrive off of the fish poop and stuff in the water. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. Okay, so it's been about 14 minutes with this video. So we're just gonna slowly, we don't want to ruin their lives. You know, sorry, I wasn't even, didn't have the camera pointed very well. And like I said, I'm still new at this, so bear with me. They will get better with time. I'll get all the rest of that food out of there. Oof. But yeah, they look good so far. They're picking at the bottom. See, they went after that detritus thing right there. There's another one over there. They're gonna go after that. And then eventually I'm gonna clean this thing up and add it in there. More space for the babies to hide. I'll probably go get a Java fern tonight or something. And we'll go from there. The one thing I don't like is a couple of the females' eyes are all bug-eyed, so they're kind of stressed. None of them look like they're gasping for air. That little guy, he's gonna be a monster, you can already tell. But yeah, I mean, the male's got some really nice color, they're active. But that female back there, I think she's gonna have amazing babies. I might actually set up another tank just for her to drop her fry in. Yeah, but they look really good. And so right now, we're gonna take a risk. This probably could cause an ammonia spike, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. I just want to make sure these fish are strong, getting some decent nutrients. So we're gonna sprinkle some freeze-dried baby brine shrimp in there. And hopefully, well, I mean, they're chilling right now, but you know, they seem to be okay. And I might even actually get a different heater tonight because I don't quite trust this one because it hasn't warmed the tank up to what I want it to be yet. And it's been in there since this morning, so yeah. But yeah, you can see him, he's already pigging out. And they're definitely going to be making a mess in this thing by today. Yeah, but yeah, so me personally, I just love guppies. I always have and always will. Nobody's gonna get rich off these, but we will see. We're not gonna mess with them or do anything with them really until they start dropping fry. But look, there's another one of them little worm things. But they'll eat it. They always do. And I'll get the exact name of what they are. I just can't think of it right now because I'm doing a million different things at once. But yeah, I mean, they're moving, they're eating. The brine shrimp is getting in the water column. So far, so good. So let's talk a little bit more about the breeding. So I prefer to get them in trios because a male fish will chase a female down to exhaustion. And you don't want that. So, you know, what I've learned in videos was people buy trios. That way the male has 3 different females to go after. And, you know, he'll get a little bit tired and want to be left alone. And some things you will and might notice. This guppy has some tears in his fin, but this one got a really nice uniform fin. They will pick at each other. You know, I don't quite know the whole science behind it, but I'm sure it has something to do with dominance and this, you know. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching. You know, my first video is probably at 100 views. The second one didn't get that many, maybe because it was boring and there was no fish. But yeah, we got some fishies in here now. And again, like I said, I'm gonna clean the tank out tonight. I'll do like a quick little water change, maybe down to here. But oh, look, I just got called to work. Accept this. All right. And then real quick. Ooh, oops. Oh, my knees. See, I just cleaned this the other day. These little guys are pigs. They get that food and throw it all around the tank. Okay, so this right here is a brine shrimp hatchery. You add water, dechlorinated water to it. It has a fill line, aquarium salt, and then you add your brine shrimp eggs. I don't want to open it right now because I'm trying to get them to hatch. But after they hatch and the next batch, I'll make a video on it. But yeah, so, you know, no air pump required. There's little channels in there that they swim through, and they're attracted to the light, so they go in the middle, and you just pick up this little scooper, or you grab your little pipette and you suck up some brine shrimp and you feed your tank. But yeah, so I'll probably make another video tonight checking on the fish and after cleaning the tank and adding some water. But for now, I got to get back to work, and expect another video tonight. All right, thanks everybody.